Okay, Mama, I know you live a full life. Most call that busy, but I prefer to say full or productive. I know you hardly have time for yourself, let alone to think. You know how I know that? Because I am the same way. However, creating routines in your life will help you feel more organized and be able to fit in the activities you love while dealing with all your daily responsibilities. It's not just about creating a routine to create a routine, it's about creating one that will work for you in the season of life that you are in. Here's a tip I want you to remember it's a wise saying that I didn't make up. It's from a wise person. I don't know who. But anyway, you can do anything, but you can't do everything.
Welcome to Red Hot Mindset. I'm your host, Gabe Cox, and through this podcast, I'm on a mission to help you step into the fire of refinement so God can mold and transform you into a woman ready to step into your calling and crush your goals, His way. I do this by helping you overcome your mental barriers through a faith-based approach of building inner strength and resilience. Each episode, I will bring you thought process, productivity tips, and inspirational stories from everyday people, all so you can live intentionally and move forward confidently with the gifts God has given you. As a running enthusiast, I believe that life is one massive marathon, and it's up to you to run your own race and to finish it well. Step into the fire with me because I know you will come out stronger.
Hey, friend, thank you so much for tuning in with me again today. If you are new here, thank you so much for joining me. I hope that you find a home here, and I'm so glad you're here. If you have been here with me for a while and you are really enjoying the podcast, I would love it if you would be willing to share it with one other person. Share it with someone else that you think would be a good fit for hearing these messages that I am sharing. Another fellow mama, another fellow Christian woman, someone who is looking at doing something, has a goal, really wants to work on being as productive as possible, but being as present as possible as well. This is a great way to grow the show. I would love to get the word out there. And one of the best ways is to have you share it with a friend. Another great way would be just to leave a review for me. One, I read every single one of them because I really love hearing from you. And it also helps to get the podcast seen. It helps people to see what is this podcast about and is it going to be right for them? Should they take a listen? So I would love, love, love for you to do that. And if you do that, think about taking a picture of your review and sharing it on your social. I'd love to see it, and I would also reshare it for you in my stories. So that would be fun to see. This year, my goal is to grow the podcast and bring in anyone who needs to hear that they can enjoy their passions and their passions can intersect with their purpose. I want to reach those who want to learn how to use those interests and passions to fuel other areas of their life and to go after their God-given goals and calling. If that is you, my friend, you are in the right place. Today, we are talking about creating routines. I know some of you hear that and are like, but Gabe, I don't like routine. I don't like schedules. Well, I never said you had to like them. I mean, honestly, I never really liked them either. I wanted to be a fly by the seat of my pants kind of girl. But the problem with that is when I was left always feeling behind and never getting anything done. I bet that you don't like routines or systems because you've never truly found a way to make them work for you. You may have read some books that tell you how to be successful, but most of those books are not catered to the busy mom trying to get all the things done for everyone else around her, let alone for herself. I know because I've read them all. I've read all the books. I've tried all the things, and I'm just here to help you do it a little bit easier and a little bit quicker and a little bit in the way that will work for you. Okay? All right. I don't know why I was talking like that, but anyway. Also, I want to point out that a work-life balance doesn't mean that everything is divided equally in your day. You don't always spend the same amount of time on work as you do on family or as you do on leisure. A work-life balance really means that you have control over your schedule and not the other way around. It means you are intentional in what you're doing at any given moment. It means you are present where you are. When you're with your family, you're shutting that work computer and work brain off to focus on them. When you're at work, you're giving your best and you're focused on getting those things done. When you're at play, be at play, laugh, and have fun. Avoid stressing about the next thing on your calendar that you have to do. The messy house can wait an hour, I promise. It will still be there when you're ready to clean it. Like, it will. So let's just have fun and let's just laugh now. Here's the thing, if you create a routine that works for others, guess what? It most likely won't work for you. Do you know why? Because your season is a bit different than everybody else's. Your schedule is a little bit different than anybody else's. Routines just aren't necessarily cookie cutter, they just can't be. Yes, there are certain things that most people add to their routines that I would say would be successful things to do, but you need to look at these things and cater them to your own season of life. So let's start by talking about the different seasons or stages that you could be in. You might be in the baby stage still. You might have a lot of diaper changes, babies who dictate your schedule. You might not be sleeping a lot because of it, because they are pretty much telling you where to be and when to be there. Um, the baby stage is hard because you can't just have a real schedule. You can have a flexible schedule. You can have a here's what I think is going to happen, and here's when I think nap time is going to be, and when I think bedtime is going to be. And oh, by the way, I hope he sleeps through the night, right? And you just don't know. You are pretty much catering to your baby. There's also the toddler stage. You're just busy chasing after them. They are moving, they're mobile. You can't just keep them in one place. You may be starting some activities with them. Your baby may not be attached to your breast anymore, but they still need you to do most things for them, like feed them and get them dressed and buckle them in the car. And you can't leave them alone, right? So there's lots of things that you have to do in that toddler stage. It's a busy, busy stage. Then maybe you are moving into the elementary stage. You add school in the mix. So whether you're sending them to school or you're schooling at home, you may have more freedoms in those school hours, or maybe you're homeschooling with that time, or you began working again in that time. So you could be moving back into the workforce. You could be working from home. So that elementary stage brings a little bit of freedom, but it also changes what you're doing and when you're doing it. Or maybe you're in the teen years stage. Ooh, I'll be praying for you. Yeah. Um, you know why I'll be praying for you? Because I'm in that stage too, and I need someone to pray for me. So will you pray for me? Like, teenage stage is real. Let me tell you, it is real fun. It is a really fun stage because you really are getting to see your son or daughter develop into a man or woman and really try and find themselves and figure themselves out. And you're seeing their giftings just come to life and seeing their interests. And you can have these conversations if they let you. But it's also so difficult because you're at the same time, they're trying to figure themselves out. They're trying to test the waters and figure out how independent they can be. And there's just so much in there, right? And then the teen stage means that they're almost leaving the nest. Like, it's a new stage of what's going to happen next, what comes next for them, what's their next chapter, how do we help them, how do we get them there, right? How do we help them to um, become independent? How do we allow them to make mistakes under our roof so that we can teach and train them so they're ready for the real world? That is a stage, I tell ya, that is a season. Then we have like the working mom stage, right? So you could be in this stage, this could be any time throughout these child rearing stages, right? You could be working the whole time. Are you a stay at home mama? Or maybe do you volunteer your time somewhere? Maybe you volunteer at the school a lot with your kids. Are you a working mama? Do you work part time or do you work full time? Do you work from the home or do you work outside of the home in an office? This is a stage as well. This is a season, a working mom season. What does that look like for you right now? Or you could be a mutt. I'll call it a mutt, but a mixture of one or two or all of these stages combined because maybe you have a baby, a toddler, a teen. Maybe you're working, like you have it all right now. For me, I have an elementary, a middle school, and a high school. I have 2 in a charter school, 1 homeschooling. I am a working mom at home, and I run my own business. So my season looks different than I'm sure many of your seasons, and maybe it looks the same as some of you. But that's why I say that routines can't be cookie cutter. Do you see what I mean? You may find yourself in a few stages at once, or your seasons and stages will change over time. So you'll need to revamp your routines to cater to those changes. Routines are there just to guide your day, not to make them rigid and boring. They're not there to make you have to do all the things all the time and do this and then this and then this. They're there as a guide. But I promise you this, when you start your day with a routine, the rest of the day will flow a little bit better. So, what does your current routine look like for you? By the way, if you're a fly by the seat of your pants kind of girl like I tried to be, that's also a routine. It's just not a very intentional one, and it might not be the best one. Is it okay to have flexibility? And is it okay to be able to fly by the seat of your pants? Oh, yes, that is a good quality. But if you want to make the most of out of your day, if you want to maximize your time, it's probably best to find a routine that works for you. So, here are some possibilities for routines. One thing I'd love for you to do is to just write down different things that you would like to add into your day, or different things that you do, different tasks, or different things that you want to do. Here are some ideas. So, a quiet time or prayer time, working out, journaling, reading, sitting in the quiet with white space. Yes, please. Thank you, Lord. Preparing lunches for school, getting kids ready for school, setting out your clothes for the next day, taking an hour to check off all the minor to do lists and cleaning items for the day, having a date night, finding friend time or girls' day, family movie or family game night or family whatever. Those are just some things. I'm sure there's so many more things we could add to this list, but maybe write down some things that are meaningful to you. What's nice about having a routine is that once you create the habit, you no longer have to be a slave to the schedule or have to write everything down so you don't forget. You just know that you're in your morning routine or in your afternoon or bedtime routines, and you just roll with it. You know what you do in that time and you do it. Chelsea Joe of the Systemize Your Life podcast talks a lot about creating routines. And I love how she organizes it similar to this because she doesn't want you to be a slave to your calendar. The goal is to see one larger chunk of time as a morning, work, or bedtime routine and not having to put all the times of when you do things in there specifically, but to know that in that chunk of time, these are the habits you normally do. So, here are some questions for you to ask yourself as you think through creating a routine that works for you. What season of life are you in? What does it look like for you? What time blocks do you have that you can create routines in? What goals do you have right now? What are you working toward? What interests get you excited? Are these things you could add into one of your daily routines to fill yourself up? For me, that's running. And when I get to do that each day, it fills me up. So I have that as a part of my routine. I want you to remember you can do anything, but you can't do everything. This is a powerful statement if you remember it and heed by it. You need to make decisions about what your priorities are and then create a plan to get those things done on a daily or weekly or monthly basis. I would love it if, even if you want to just pause this recording right now, or maybe come back to it when you have time, when you can actually write, like if you're driving or working out, that's probably not the best time for you to write, but write down the answers to these questions I just asked because this is going to help you really define how it's going to work for you. My challenge for you this week is to determine what season or stage of life you are in and to create at least one routine. You may be a night owl, and a normal morning routine could be your bedtime routine. I'm okay with that. If you're okay with that, if that's when you do your best in your prayer or reading or journaling, then do it then. Make it your nighttime bedtime routine. If you're a morning person like I am, and you are most creative in the morning, then add in that most important thing in that morning routine. Like for me, I take time after I do my quiet time in prayer, I take time to write. And I'm writing my podcasts, I'm writing my books, I'm writing whatever, emails for all of y'all. I'm writing in about a 45-minute chunk every morning because that's when I'm going to be the most creative. And I'm going to do it before I do everything else for everyone else. So think about that. What is it going to be for you? I'd love to hear what you decide to try. I would love to hear what your morning routine or afternoon routine or whatever routine is going to be. So come join us in our free Mindful Mamas Facebook community and let us know. We will cheer you on as you create these routines and gain intentionality back into your day. That is what a routine is for. It's to create intention, it's to be focused on what you're doing, and it's so that you can create that space to be present with your family. I'll leave a link in the show notes, but you can also find us at www.facebook.com/groups/4, the number 4, Mindful Mamas, and mamas is MAMAS. If you just don't find that you have any time in your day to add in your passions or working on a goal or creating some white space for thinking and prayer, then 2 things could happen. Maybe you could set your alarm for 15 minutes earlier. You are not really going to miss those 15 minutes, I promise. At that point, they're not going to help you anyway. It's kind of like the whole you set your alarm for quite a bit earlier than you want to wake up anyway, and then you just hit snooze 500 times. Do you think that sleep is actually good? It's not. It's not good quality sleep. You might as well have gotten up because now you're going to be tired for the day, right? So set an alarm for 15 minutes earlier and get up. Put the alarm across the room if you need to so that you don't hit snooze, Or you could consider eliminating something from your schedule. If you don't even have 15 or 30 or 60 minutes of time for yourself to refresh and refuel, then you are too busy, mama. You are too busy. That needs to change. Take control of your schedule before it takes control of you. What can you take out so that you can create a routine for yourself to refresh and refuel? Are you still feeling frazzled and you don't know where to start? Girl, book a coaching call with me and I will help you gain clarity and create a strategy around your days so that you can get that time back and use it to fuel your interests and crush your goals. You will get that time back so you can be present with your family. Just email me at gabecox@redhotmindset.com for more details. I am here for you. I'll see you back here on Thursday, and I'm excited because I'm going to be sharing with you how I get it all done. Oh, yeah. It's just a little extension on the work-life balance. So I'm going to share with you what I do as a working mom. And so if you want to know how to get it all done, come right back with me on Thursday and let's hang out. In all things I pray, you just run your race. I believe in you.
Thank you so much for joining me today. I had a great time and I hope you did too. Before we go though, make sure you subscribe to the podcast on your favorite listening platform if you haven't already. This will make sure you have access to all future episodes so you don't miss any of them. If you resonated with this episode, please consider leaving a review on iTunes or Spotify, as reviews are an important part of growing this podcast. If you have any friends or family who you think would enjoy this podcast, be sure to take a screenshot and share it with them. And if you're not a part of the free Mindful Mamas online community, consider joining us. It's a community built to provide support, mindset, and encouragement as you develop your giftings, live intentionally, and go after your biggest goals, God's way. Head on over to www.redhotmindset.com to check out the show notes and find the link to join the community. I hope you step into the fire with me each and every episode because I know you will come out stronger. That's all for now. Talk with you real soon. Bye, winner.